Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync Follow-Up Boss to ActiveCampaign so that all those contacts and leads you have in Follow-Up Boss can automatically get dropped into ActiveCampaign simply by tagging them, and you can put them on an automation that you've already built in ActiveCampaign. And then if you have contacts and leads in ActiveCampaign you've been meaning to get to start following up, you can go ahead and do that. It'll sync all those contacts you have from ActiveCampaign. Any new contacts you add to ActiveCampaign will also get synced into Follow-Up Boss. It's going to connect these two apps so you can use them like one, and it's super easy to set up. Let me show you how. The first thing you're going to do is go to apination.com and click on Discover Connections. There you're going to see all the apps you can connect through API Nation. You're going to scroll on down until you get to F for Follow-Up Boss. There it is. If you see any other logos or apps you want to connect, click through those as well. Set up those automations so you can save some time. So here's Follow-Up Boss, and we can connect Follow-Up Boss to any of these apps, share contacts back and forth. I'm going to go with ActiveCampaign here. And then you can see we have two syncs available. ActiveCampaign into Follow-Up Boss and Follow-Up Boss into ActiveCampaign. You can see there's flat rates to set up these syncs. You can see actually the office and team and the agent rates are the exact same. And that is because only admin accounts on Follow-Up Boss can make this connection. So you have to have a Follow-Up Boss admin account to make this connection. You have that? Let's go. So we're going to go first. We're going to sync Follow-Up Boss out to ActiveCampaign. I'm going to activate that. And to activate it, all we have to do is sign into API Nation. So you can sign in if you have an account. If you don't have an account, you can use this link here to create one. Or you can sign in with Google, and it's going to create an account that way. All right, so we've signed in. Now we're going to connect Follow-Up Boss. Pretty simple. Hit connect. It says you need an API key and you need a name for this connection. So I'm just going to name it after me, or you can name it after your office, your team, whatever you like. And then to get that API key, I'm going to hop into Follow-Up Boss, go to Admin, go to More, and there's API. So I'm going to create an API key, and I'm going to call this ActiveCampaign. There we go. There's that API key. Make sure you copy it, because once you hit done on this page, it's going to go away forever and you won't be able to find it again. You have to create a new one. So there we go. I've pasted it in here. I'm going to hit connect. All right, so I got the API key. I gave it a label. I'm going to do a similar thing with ActiveCampaign. It's going to ask for a label, a key, and a user URL. Pretty simple. Again, label can just be you, your name, your office, your team, totally up to you. This user URL and user key is in ActiveCampaign. So let's go there. So here I am in ActiveCampaign. You're just going to go down here to Settings, Developer, and there's that URL and the key. So I'm going to copy it, click this button at the far right, go back to API Nation, paste in the URL with Control V or Command V, and do the same thing for the key here. Control V, Command V, and connect. So I just hopped into ActiveCampaign, went to Settings, and then Developer, and that's where that key and the URL live. Couple configurations here when we create the sync. Do I want to sync everybody from Follow-Up Boss, or do I just want to sync people from now on? I want to sync everybody, and it's going to sync everybody who's currently in Follow-Up Boss and also continue to sync in the future. So this is great. It's going to get ActiveCampaign all caught up. If your Follow-Up Boss has got a ton of contacts that you don't want in ActiveCampaign, just uncheck this box. It's just going to start syncing people you add from today going forward. As they arrive in ActiveCampaign, where do you want them? You can have a list for them set up, and you can just select that list here. I'm going to go with the new lead list. You could also drop them on an automation if you already have an automation set up in ActiveCampaign that you want these people added to. You can also set up a tag and have them added to that as well. Finally, you're going to choose your subscription plan, either a yearly or a monthly. You can see you save quite a bit if you do it yearly, but either way works. I'm going to hit subscribe. All right, so this creates the sync, but it's not yet active. We're going to do a final check before we hit this big button to activate the sync. So we are only syncing people from today going forward, not syncing everybody. They're going into new leads. I'm not putting them in an automation or tagging them, but I definitely could. This is a pretty cool feature, this filter option. This will let you filter people from Follow-Up Boss on any of these fields. So like I said at the beginning, if you only want to have them tagged ActiveCampaign, so tag contains ActiveCampaign. This is like a really hands-on way to control exactly who's going into ActiveCampaign. So without the filter, everybody you add to Follow-Up Boss is going into ActiveCampaign. With this filter, once you tag them with ActiveCampaign, and you can make this anything, once you tag them, then they go into ActiveCampaign. So it gives you a little bit more control over who's going in there. And you can do it with, source. You can do it with stage once they achieve a certain stage. Now let's get them in ActiveCampaign. We want to start getting them in that automation. You can do it with claimed. Any of these things you can set up a filter for. I'm going to go ahead and clear it out. I just want to get everybody in there. Finally, you can see exactly what's coming over. Email, phone, first and last name. Great, this looks good. I'm going to go to the top and activate this sync. So there we go. Follow-Up Boss is now sending over contacts to ActiveCampaign. Any new people I add will automatically get put into ActiveCampaign, so I can easily email them or put them on automation. Let's set up the second half. So I'm going to click on that Follow-Up Boss icon. It's going to take me back to all the Follow-Up Boss syncs, and I can click on ActiveCampaign. And what we're doing now is setting up the second half of this. So you can see at the bottom, we have this one. It's sending from Follow-Up Boss to ActiveCampaign. Let's do ActiveCampaign back to Follow-Up Boss. It's going to look remarkably similar. It's going to ask you to select the accounts you want to use for this, which is nice. You don't have to go through and reconnect them again. You just select them. And then do I want to sync everybody who's in ActiveCampaign or just people I add from today going forward? Totally up to you. As they're added to Follow-Up Boss, if they happen to already exist, do I want to overwrite them? Or do I just want to fill in the blanks? Usually I only want to fill in the blanks, but if you want to overwrite them, that could work. Go ahead and choose this monthly subscription plan. Kind of a nice thing here is because we already subscribed to ActiveCampaign and Follow-Up Boss earlier, it's just going to be covered under the save subscription. So you're not buying 2 subscriptions. You're just getting the one, and it covers all the syncs back and forth you want to make between ActiveCampaign and Follow-Up Boss. So we've created the sync. You can just go through here and do a final check. The mapping looks good. This all looks fantastic. You can set up a filter here if you want, based on, maybe you want to do it on the date. I only want people that were created starting at January 1st of 2022 going forward. You could do that. Any of these things. And I'm going to go ahead and activate this sync. There we go. I'm going to click on My Syncs. And you can see I now have 2 syncs up and running. I have a 2-way sync between ActiveCampaign and Follow-Up Boss. So that's it. That's how you set up the sync between ActiveCampaign and Follow-Up Boss. Now, anytime you add a contact to Follow-Up Boss, it can get synced in ActiveCampaign. You don't have to worry about copying, pasting, importing, exporting, anything like that. And then also all those contacts you have in ActiveCampaign can be pushed into Follow-Up Boss, so you can start doing that follow-up and start moving them towards a deal. If you have any questions or need any assistance, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, connecting the world's applications. We love doing this stuff.